Have you ever thought, after a particular event I will be happier, after growing up I won't have any problems, after graduating high school and entering university I will be happier, after getting this job and this salary I won't have any problems, after being more disciplined and productive I will be happier, after quitting my bad habits I will be happier, or after being able to communicate with anyone I will be happier? If yes, carefully listen to me because I will show you exactly why happiness is the problem and can we actually avoid this. I know I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a happiness expert, I'm not the person or the philosopher who lived over 60 years and has the can make conclusions about people, about life, about the situations we came in our daily life. Therefore, it's the all from my own life experience, from things I'm interested in, from my interests, from books I've read, from podcasts I listen to, and also some interest blog posts and videos I watch on YouTube. So let's dive into the video and let me explain it with the story. About 2500 years ago, the new prince was born in the territory of modern Nepal. Father of the prince, king, wanted him to live through life without sufferings and problems. Let his every desire and need to be satisfied. King built tall walls surrounding the castle for the prince not to see the whole suffering and misery the world has. King pampered him with endless sweets and gifts, and boy was growing by being ignored of everyday life burdens. This was the childhood of the prince, but by the time he became less and less satisfied despite all wealth and abundance he has. New experiences weren't giving any satisfaction, and it seemed everything became pointless. The prince was interested in what was behind the walls, and once the prince got out of the castle with a servant and they came to the neighboring village where he was shocked. He got emotional crisis from seeing a real misery of the world, all the beggars, poor, starving and dying people. When prince came back to the castle, he started blaming his father and everything king provided him. Prince thought exactly wealth made him unhappy and was ready to refuse all fame, family and king's throne. Instead, he wanted to live outside, be a beggar and starve outside. Next day, he got out of the castle for the last time and strictly decided not to come back. He lived outside for many years, starving, bearing diseases, and living as an outcast. Many years later, nothing happened. He continued living with sufferings, and by time, he started realizing that living with suffering is not the case. It was not giving him any real insight he wanted to achieve, any deep meaning of life. However, he knew most people know that the misery is a dreadful thing and that it's the pointless too. There is no value in life with suffering as well as in life with enough wealth. He came to the conclusion that his idea of life with suffering and the idea of his father, life with wealth, were pointless. He should find out another way. So he occasionally found out a big tree where he decided to stop and sit there until he figures out a new big idea. According to the legend, the prince sit there for a whole 49 days and realized many things. For example, life itself is a form of suffering. Rich people suffer from wealth, while poor people from poverty. Lonely people suffer from not having a family, while with family they suffer from family problems. People trying to have great pleasure suffer from great pleasure. People trying to abstain from great pleasure suffer from abstaining from it. And it doesn't mean all sufferings are the same. There are some that are less painful and that are more painful. Anyway, we must suffer. So this philosophy became really popular and widely used from all over the world, and the name of this prince was Buddha. We can make conclusions from the story and answer the question why happiness is the problem, and be happy after getting particular point, as we think usually. And for example, the suffer the problems we face in daily life and overall in our life, we should accept it because it's the part of the process. It's the part of being happy, and dissatisfaction and wanting more even after achieving your goals. For example, you achieve particular your goal and you want more and more, and you are dissatisfied with your current situation. Why? Because that's the part of human nature. What is the part of human being? You will always want more and more. And one thing came to my mind is that if we try to be happier, we will become less happier. And therefore, if you feel yourself lonely, stuck in life, or lost, or have lots of problems, know that you can't avoid this. They will pursue you your entire life. Even though you think that you will particularly get one point, you won't have any problems. You will have. And even though you think you won't have any problems, you will have some problems because your mind will create the problems itself. So also I would recommend you one podcast to listen. It's the episode from Diary of CEO. By the way, the guest of this podcast, of this episode, is happiness expert Mo Gaudat. I really love this podcast, this episode, and it was exceptional. Even though I mostly listen to business-related podcasts, but it was exceptional. I love it, and today it came to mind to make this happiness-related podcast, happiness-related video, and the one thing came to mind is this podcast. This episode. I would put the link in the video description. It's the video on YouTube, and also you can listen in Apple Podcasts if you're an Apple user. So it was Vladimir Hamidov, and hope you find useful this video, helpful, valuable, and I wish you all the best, happy life, and accept everything, all your problems, because that's the part of the happiness. That's part of our life. And yeah, of course it's not easy, as it's said. It's not easy every times, but it's much more better to live more intentional life rather than waiting for a particular point for whole life and regret in the bed of dying. Yeah, and so I will see you soon in our next videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.